ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः चरणं पवित्रं विततं पुराणं येन पूतस्तरति दुष्कृतानि तेन पवित्रेण शुद्धेन पूताः अतिपाप्मानमरातिन्तरेम लोकस्य दारमर्चिमत्पवित्रं ज्योतिष्मद्भ्राजमानं महस्वत् अमृतस्य धारा बहुधा दोहमानं चरणं लोके सुतिथां दधातु ॐ श्रीगुरवे श्री सत्यसाईनाथ श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि नमः ॐ श्री परमगुरवे श्री शिरडी साईनाथ श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि नमः ॐ श्री परमेष्टिगुरवे श्री दत्तात्रेय स्वामी श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि नमः ॐ अम्बनवाम्बुजोज्ज्वलकराम्बुजशारदचन्द्रचन्द्रिकाडम्बर चारुमूर्ति प्रकटस्फुटरुरोचन श्रुतिसूक्तविविक्तनिजप्रभाव भावाम्बरवीधिमिश्रुतविहारिणी ननन् कृपजूडु भारती अम्बनवाम्बुजोज्ज्वलशारदचन्द्रचन्द्रिकाडम्बरचारुमूर्ति प्रकटस्फुटरोषणरत्नरोचिराचुम्बितदिग्विभाग श्रुतिसूक्तविविक्तनिजप्रभाव भावाम्बरवीधिविश्रुतविहारिणी ननन् कृपजूडु भारती ॐ ऐं सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ नमश्चण्डिकायै offering our humble salutations at the divine lotus feet of Sai Saraswati. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hari Om, Shalom, Sairam, Namaste. We are studying Ekadash Adhyaya, Narayani Stuti. Narayani, seeing always inside. Narayani, seeking always inside. SAI. And this beautiful chapter of Narayani Stuti, done by all the Indras, the Devas, led by Agni, at the divine abode of Katyayani, where they are now invoking this mother and describing all the incredible aspects about this divinity that is present within us as the seed, which is Bhuvaneshi. And they invoke saying that Devyahate Tatra Mahasurendre Sendra Sura Vanhi Purogamastam Katyayanim Tushtu Virishtalabhad Vikashi Vakrabja Vikasitasha. And then as we enter into this beautiful divine presence within us as Narayani, yesterday I believe you completed until shloka number 17. But when we left last week, the mantras, we started getting into this beautiful aspect of the mother, wherein we actually start off saying that we surrender to her. She is the source of all the knowledge the perceptual, also as the ignorance, not only the vidya, but also the avidya. Avidya for those that are caught up in the Mahamaya, Vidya for those who are seeking to be liberated. Vidya samasta stava devi bheda striyas samasta sakala jagatsu, manifested in the form of all the three gunas. She is filling the entire presence, and therefore no words are available to actually describe to that mother who is Sarva Bhuta Yada Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayini. Tvam Stuta Stutaye Kava Bhavantu Parama Uktayaha. She is present within us as this supreme intellect that is ಧಿ ಯೋ ಯೋ ನಃ ಪ್ರಚೋದಯಾತ್ ಸರ್ವಸ್ಯ ಬುದ್ಧಿರೂಪೇಣ ಜನಸ್ಯ ಹೃದಯ ಸಂಸ್ಥಿತೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿರೂಪೇಣ ಹೃದಯ ಸಂಸ್ಥಿತೆ ಸ್ವರ್ಗಾಪವರ್ಗದೇ ದೇವಿ ನಾರಾಯಣಿ ನಮೋಸ್ತುತೆ. And hence, we are now invoking the presence of this incredible mother within us, who is fundamentally the time, the space, and the identification aspects of it. The time as Kala Kashtadi Rupena Parinama Pradayini Vishwasyo Paratau Shakte Narayani Namostute, as the space, as that which is filling the presence, as the utmost auspiciousness, the serenity, the Shubham, the Shri, the Shiva, the Kalyanam, the Bhadram, the Vishranti, the Kshemam, and the Abhayam, the Anandam, and everything, the Sangam, Sarva Mangala Mangalye, Shive Sarvartha Sadhike, शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते. Each and every one of these beautiful shlokas is something to be experienced. Srishti sthiti vinashanam shakti bhute sanatani. She is here and now, bhute. She is present here, but yet eternal, sanatani, through the process of evolution, resolution, dissolution. And she is manifest as the Prakriti in the form of gunas, that which is the lowest in the presence as the Tamo Shakti, to the utmost in connection to everything as constant integrated awareness as the Sattva Gunam, and to that mother, or what we are referring to mother as not about the gender. And I want to be very clear about this, crystal clear. This is nothing to do with our perception of what the mother is as a gender. Mother means love, because in the word mother there is other, and only when your presence is in the context of apara and para, this is the true definition of the mother, which means 100% unsullied, nirgunam, niranjanam, sanatanam, niketanam, nitya, shuddha, buddha, mukta, nirmala swarupinam. That is the definition of the mother. And this mother, that pure, unsullied love that we seek refuge in, and therefore removing everything that is associated with suffering and fear. Now, then, how do we connect to this? Manifest as now as the 10 different manifestations of that awareness, as the Saptamatrikas, So shloka number 13, Hamsa Yukta Vimanasthe Brahmani Rupadharini. The one that takes the form, see, that assumes the form, means assuming the form doesn't mean that it is the form. It simply assumes the form. Rupadharini. Sada Satswarupam Chidananda Kandam Jagat Sambhavasthana Samharahetum Swabhaktechaya Manusham Darshayantam. It's because of the will of the devotees and those that prayed in surrender that this supreme consciousness appears to be in a form with a name, but it is not simply the name and the form. The name and the form are simply like identification purposes so that the mind initially focuses on it. But you have to constantly remind yourself that the truth is that it is beyond this name and form. So, all these saptamatrikas that we are going through, or any name or identification associated with God, please remember that it is only for identification purposes. Why? How do we understand this? When you are a little child, you are taught A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, D for dog, E for elephant. But once you learn the alphabet, every time you are using a word with A, do you remember an apple? Every time you use a word with a B, do you remember a ball? No. But when you are a young child, so that you can connect the letter, the akshara, with the parabrahman, to connect the letter to something that you identify with, so that you understand A for apple. Hello. But that same A is used a zillion, gazillion times as part of every word that you are using. And every time you don't say A for apple, therefore you say at, A for apple, T for Tom. No, you don't think like that. Brahmani Rupadharini. As the creative force within us, she is Hamsa Yukta Vimanasthe. Using this Hamsa Yukta Vimanaha, that which flies using the swans, Vimanasthe, located in that. Hamsa Yukta Vimanasthe, Brahmani Rupadhari. How beautiful these words are. And now what our mind is thinking? We are thinking this is Brahma. And the feminine form of Brahma is Brahmani. Hello, that is not at all the case. Hamsa Yukta Vimanaste. What are the swans? The Hamsa Soham, two swans. Vimana, that is completely the presence located in that presence awareness in the breath as Soham, and Kaushambhaha, Ksharike Devi, Narayani, Namostute. Kusha, Ambha, Ksharike became Kaushambha. Kaushambha Ksharike. Kusha is the grass, the darbha grass. Using this kusha grass, Ambha means the water. The water that is sprinkled using darbha grass for doing what? Ksharike. Kshara means destruction or annihilation or disintegration of what? Of all the thoughts that are evil tendencies, so that you completely focus on the Soham consciousness. This is Brahmani, and to that Brahmani, Namostute. When you are focusing on this beautiful so so hum, in that presence, you can absolutely notice yourself that within one span of a few seconds or split seconds, so many thoughts are just coming. Kaushambha Ksharike Devi Narayani Namostate. What is this Kusha? This Kusha actually not just representing a darbha grass. Somebody is vehemently taking notes of whatever I am saying. Huh? Thank you very much for doing that. But please do it on mute. Don't take notes, Sairam. Please just listen. Be present and don't multitask. Why you are on this class doing something else? If you can't be present in this class, just drop off. Go do whatever you need to do. But don't just waste your precious time and presence going for a walk and doing chanting, doing multitasking. This has become the disease of a human mind because it can't focus. And whenever this presence to this breath, the hamsa, the soham, is interrupted by all these distractions called multitasking, Kaushambha Ksharike Devi, Mother, destroy the distraction, the life of distractions and delusions. Destroy those. Ambha Ksharike Devi. Kusha means not just some darbha grass. Hello, symbolic. Everything is symbolic. Kusha means ultimate focus and laser pointed focus. Kushagra. That which is dipped in love and then sprinkled. A thought that is as laser focused and dipped in love, when that becomes your constant integrated awareness, Kaushambha Ksharike Devi Narayani Namostute. Now you can go on with every one of them. Then next one is Maheshwari, Trishula Chandra Ahi Dhare Maha Vrushabhavahini. Trishula, trident, Chandra is the moon, Ahi is the serpent, Dhare, and located on Mahavrushabha, not ordinary Vrushabha, Mahavrushabha. Vrushabha means bull, Mahavrushabha is the supreme bull. Chatvari Srungatrayo. There are mantras describing this beautiful bull. And this bull that we're talking about is not, again symbolic. What is this Mahavrishabha? The Mahavrishabha that is located, on which this supreme consciousness is located, is Dharma. The previous one is presence to the breath. Then the next one is presence to the action. The right action, so called in English, which is nothing but most stupidest translation for the word dharma, because it is not a right action or a wrong action. Dharma dharayati iti dharma. And this dharayati iti dharma is Mahavrishabham, Yachandasam Vrishabho Vishwarupah Chandobhyodhyamrutaka Sambhabhuva Samendro Medhaja Sprunotu Amrutasya Devadharano Bhujasam Shariram Me Vicharshanam Jekva Me Madhumattama Karnagabhyam Bhuri Vishruvam ब्रह्मण कोशोषि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्तिः 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 यश्छन्दसां वृषभो यः छन्दसां वृषभो Vishwarupaha. That is the Mahavrishabhavahini. Now, Sairam, I am trying to take you into this incredible Narayani presence which is within us. Not some Narayani worshipped as some idol or as an icon, but the ideal behind this idol that we need to be constantly connected to. And this is Trishula Chandra Ahi. You understood what Trishula, then it is incredible. But what is this Chandra? This is the mind. What is the Ahi? Ahi is the serpent.
Kundalini.
That Maheshwari. That Maheshwari. Swarupena, in that form, Narayani Namostute. Mayura Kukkutavrute. Mahashaktidhare Anaghe. Mayura Kukkuta Vrite. Mahashaktidhare Anaghe. Kaumari Rupa Samsthane. Narayani Namostute. Mayura is peacock. Kukkuta is cock. Vrute surrounded by Mayura and Kukkuta. And Mahashaktidhare. Mahashakti is the veil. Anaghe. Anaghe means the one which is absolutely blemishless. Mayura is peacock. What is this Kukkuta? What is this cock? Don't answer, ma, please. Be present. When I say answer, please answer. Otherwise, be present. Some of these aspects that are located to the description of these Narayanis are associated with some mythological stories, some Purana, some mythological stories, so that you will understand that there is a connection to a story, because the mind is used to constantly creating and living in stories. Without that, it won't be brought to focus, and therefore these stories exist in mythology. Even this incredible demon, I know most of my Tamil brothers and sisters will instantly connect to this. Now you can answer the question. Who is the demon that led to this Mayura and Kukuta?
Surashamha.
Huh?
Surasam.
Shura. Yeah.
Yes. Chandrasekhar Ganeshan is top of everything. Immediately he unmutes and he. So what happened to him is when that happened, when he surrendered, knowing the incredible power of this so-called Kumaraswamy, the Murugan, he became a mango tree, and then he split this mango tree into two pieces. Before he split it, he surrendered to him. Now this is the, you look at these stories, what a demon who didn't follow anything ultimately surrenders, and now God bestows him with this beautiful. For those of you who don't know the story, you can go find it on Google, or Google what the names that brother said, then you will get all these stories. But what is the point of all of this? Mayura and Kukkuta, what do they represent? The Kukkuta, the cock, became the symbol on his flag. So he is carrying the flag of a cock. And then Mayura means the peacock became his vehicle. And Mahashakti Dhare is wearing this veil. Now you see how beautifully the whole thing will become some amazing iconic name, and the form behind which the ideal of what is all this within me, to that Kaumari Rupa. Now you see, we are not talking about the male guy. Here we are talking about the female. What we are talking about is the male is simply the form. But the Shakti within the form is actually the feminine. Therefore, Kaumari, Mayura Kukkutavrute, Mahashakti Dhare Naghe, Kaumari Rupa Samsthane, Narayani Namostute. Now, the rest of them, Vaishnavi, it's all pretty descriptive now. But what, just like I have given for the first three slokas, at least to go inside and connect to this, do the homework to be present to Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Sharanga, Grihita, Paramayudhe, all this, the discus, the conch, the mace, the Sharanga.
Anything else?
Hey, Sairam, Zana, whoever is Zana, please, if you are not able to focus, please drop off, ma, please. Sharanga, Grihita Paramayudhe, Prasida. Prasida means be present. Vaishnavi Rupe Narayani Namostute. Then there is Gruhitogra Mahachakre Damshtrodhrata Vasundhare. Gruhita Ugra Maha Chakre. Again associated with this Varahi, the boar form, the boar who uplifted this earth that is drowned in water, uplifted that as the form of Varaha, Adi Varaha. To that Varaha Rupini Sive Narayani Namostute. Again, I'll give pointers so that at least you can go and do the context of the meditation on each of these and seek inside, see inside. If earth is your body, and this body is indulged in sensual pleasures and completely drowned in that, that awareness, that which uplifts your body from that complete indulged unawareness of the self, that is what is Varahi. नृसिंहरूपेण उग्रेण हन्तुं दैत्यन् कृतोद्यमे त्रैलोक्यत्राणसहिते नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते. Nrisimha, Nara Simha, man, lion, so called antimorph, created to destroy the Daitya, the Diti's son, born to Kashyapa Prajapati and Diti, called Hiranya. I'm not even remembering his name now, which is good, which is, yeah, Hiranyaksha is the previous one, Hiranyakashipu is this one. This Hiranyakashipu story, how he gets destroyed, most of you know, but there is so much of significance to all of this. If I start describing all of it, we won't be able to complete. This is all for Bhagavan's grace, and his willingness will take up all the significance of each of these devatas at some other point. त्रैलोक्यत्राण सहिते नारायणि नमोस्तुते किरीटिनि महावज्रे सहस्र नयनोज्ज्वले ऐन्द्री Kiritini, this beautiful Makutam Maha Vajre, the carrying the thunderbolt, Sahasra Nayanojjale, 1,000-eyed presence, Vrutra Pranahare, who is this Vrutrasura, and the story associated with Vrutrasura. what created the Vajrayudha, and that was used to destroy this Vritrasura. And what is this Vajrayudha? And if you look at all the story of that, I'm not going to describe these stories, because the moment I describe these stories, you will just stop at the story and you will not even go beyond that. Go back, read the story, and connect it to the story about what is this Vritrasura story, what is the significance of that, and how this Vajrayudha came about. Now, the next one, Sivadutis. Oh, sorry. Then you finished up till 17, brother?
Yes, we need to cover now 17 and 18. 18 and
18.
19.
18 and
19.
19. Please, yeah,
Yes.
please go ahead with the
Yeah.
Nrasimharupena Ugrena Hantun Daityam Krutodyame Trailokyatrana Sahite Narayani Namostute.
Okay. Martin?
Yes.
Okay. Om Nrasimharupeno hantum daityang krutodhyame
Om Nisarmharupenoग्रेण हन्तुं दैत्यान् कृतोद्यमे नृसिंहरूपेणोग्रेण हन्तुं दैत्यान् कृतोद्यमे
Trailokyatra sahite narayani namostute.
त्रैलोक्यत्राणसहिते नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते त्रैलोक्यत्राणसहिते नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
Nrasimharupeno grena hantum daityang krutodhyame Trailokyatra sahite narayani namostute.
नृसिंहरूपेणोग्रेण हन्तुं दैत्यान् कृतोद्यमे त्रैलोक्यत्राणसहिते नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते नृसिंहरूपेणोग्रेण हन्तुं दैत्यान् कृतोद्यमे त्रैलोक्यत्राणसहिते नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
Kiritini mahavajre sahasranayano
किरीटिनि महावज्रे सहस्रनयनोज्ज्वले किरीटिनि महावज्रे सहस्रनयनोज्ज्वले
Vritra pranahare chaindri narayani namostute.
वृत्रप्राणहरे चैन्द्रिनारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते वृत्रप्राणहरे चैन्द्रिनारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
Kiritini mahavajre sahasranayano Vritra pranahare chaindri narayani namostute.
किरीटिनि महावज्रे सहस्रनयनोज्ज्वले वृत्रप्राणहरे चैन्द्रिनारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते किरीटिनि महावज्रे सहस्रनयनोज्ज्वले वृत्रप्राणहरे चैन्द्रिनारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
Sivaduti Swarupena Hatta Daitya Mahabale, in the form of the Shivaduti, the one who destroyed all those mighty Daityas, the Diti's sons, Ghora Rupe, the most terrible form, Maharave, the most horrible sound making, Narayani Namostute. Now, when this stotram is being offered or invocation is being offered, where are all these saptamatrikas and so where are they present?
She has taken them all into herself before killing Shumba.
So where are they present?
Within Chandika. In Chandika.
Yeah. So they are present not outside. Hello. They are present in the one. This is the most important point. But when they came out, the description of who they were came out. But when they are being praised, where are they praying? Where they are, the praying is, they're not seeing these different forms actually. They're only seeing one mother, and all of them are now or present within her. The point of that is all of them are present in that one consciousness which is us. So therefore, recognize and invoke these mothers, these Shaktis within us. When you notice that, then what all these different Shaktis that are present within us, they are invoked for different purposes as well. When this distraction and the delusion from presence to the one consciousness happens, invoke. The distractions and delusions are many, and what invokes this? The mind, therefore, becomes mindful. This is mindfulness exercise. Narayani Stuti is so called corporate word and training for which they take lot of money. This is mindfulness exercise. Shivaduti. We all went through what is the significance of this Shivaduti. What is the point of this Shivaduti? Shivaduti means the one who sent Shiva as the ambassador. And this Shivaduti has this not only the terrible form, that Shivaduti also has the sound that is equivalent to 100 jackals howling. Ghora Rupe, Maharave, unbearable sound is called is Maharave. The reason why Ravana is called Ravana, because he made unbearable sound. An unbearable sound he made. Do you know when he made this unbearable sound? When he went to Kailas and he was trying to lift the Kailas and bring it to Lanka so that he can possess the god. The Lord just using his toe just pressed on that mountain. So the whole mountain went crushing on this Ravana, who out of his Rajasic consciousness wanted to confiscate God along with his consort. Unbearable sound came out of him, and that's why he's called Ravana. It's not even sound. It is Ravana. So this Shivaduti, Ghora Rupe, Maharave, Narayani Namostute. I will also go through the next one so that they can chant two slokas. Damshtra Karala Vadane, Siromala Vibhushane, Chamunde, Mundamadhane, Narayani Namostute. Chamunda, who destroyed the Munda and the Chanda. Damshtra Karalavadane, the face that is filled with damstras, the teeth, the tusks coming out of her, and wearing Siromala Vibhushane, wearing this beautiful form of the mother. You may be thinking, what is this beautiful form of the mother? It is indeed an amazing form of the mother, this Chamundi, holding the heads of these guys, and then this Damshtra Karalavadane, Siromala Vibhushane, Chamunde, Mundamadhane, Narayani, Namostute. Yes, brother.
Shivaduti Svarupena Hata Daitya Mahabale.
शिवदूती स्वरूपेण हतदैत्यमहाबले शिवदूती स्वरूपेण हतदैत्यमहाबले
घोररूपे महारावे नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते
घोररूपे महाराधे नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते घोररूपे महाराधे नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
शिवदूती स्वरूपेण हतदैत्यमहाबले घोररूपे महारावे नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
शिवदूती स्वरूपेण हतदैत्यमहाबले घोररूपे महाराधे नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते शिवदूती स्वरूपेण हतदैत्यमहाबले घोररूपे महाराधे नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
दंष्ट्राकरालवदने शिरोमाला विभूषणे
दंष्ट्राकरालवदने शिरोमालाभिभूषणे दंष्ट्राकरालवदने शिरोमालाभिभूषणे
चामुण्डे मुण्डमथने नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
चामुण्डे मुण्डमठने नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते चामुण्डे मुण्डमठने नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
दंष्ट्राकरालवदने शिरोमाला विभूषणे चामुण्डे मुण्डमथने नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
दंष्ट्राकरालवदने शिरोमालाभिभूषणे चामुण्डे मुण्डमथने नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते दंष्ट्राकरालवदने शिरोमालाभिभूषणे चामुण्डे मुण्डमथने नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
लक्ष्मी, लज्जे, महाविद्ये, श्रद्धे, pushti, svadhe, dhruve. Each one is a beautiful invocation of this amazing supreme consciousness. Now, this Lakshmi, not interpreted as the Lakshmi that we always associate with for purposes of fulfilling our own stupid indulging desires. That's not the Lakshmi here. This Lakshmi is auspiciousness, Mahalakshmi, Lajje. Lajje is not shyness. Lajja is not shyness. Lajja is that ability to refrain from committing anything that is adharmic. That is lajja. So what happens when people are completely like they watch something that is adharmic and they refrain from saying adharmic, which is even could be perceived as adharmic, they completely remain silent and refrain from that, not out of incompetence, but out of complete refrain of the power that they are bestowed with. Are you paying attention to every word I'm saying? Please, are you with me? Shyness is not, should not be, shyness of the greatest people should not be interpreted as incompetence. Last week in study circle, I was sharing the story of Buddha begging alms. Lajje, Mahavidye, the supreme awareness. Shraddhe, Shraddha, not faith. Shraddha doesn't mean faith. Shraddha means steadfastness to hold on to the supreme truth. That is Shraddha. Shraddha, not interpreted when Bhagavan Baba said Shraddha Saburi, that Shraddha is this steadfastness to hold on to the supreme truth. Saburi is Lajja. No, people are interpreting saburi as patience. No, it is not actually. This is lajja and this shraddha are two supreme principles associated with getting grounded in the Brahman. Shraddha means how we are understanding faith. How we understand faith? Faith we understand as believing in something. What is believing in something? Even if you don't understand it, you simply believe it as a blind faith. Blind faith. Yes, blind faith is a tamasic bhakti. Shraddha is a shuddha sattvika bhakti. You don't hold on to that because of some people are interpreting sharanagati as acceptance into something because you don't understand. So that is not what is sharanagati. Being completely aware of it, and when you notice in that awareness that that is something you have to hold on to with the steadfastness, knowing that it is the supreme truth, that is shraddha. And that gives pushti, means that gives the strength. Are you connecting to me? How each word flows into the other one? Lakshmi, auspiciousness. Lajja is this ability to refrain from committing anything adharmic with complete competence, not incompetence, which leads to supreme awareness. And that awareness helps you hold on to something, and that is the inner strength, and that is the swadha. Swadha means self grounding, dhruve, unshakable. Sai Rama. Sai Rama, Branimire, what are you putting me through? Huh? I have no idea what you're doing to me. Huh? So, Lakshmi, Lajje, Mahavidye, Shraddhe, Pushti, Swadhe, Dhruve. Next time when you chant this Narayani Namostate, see how much simple understanding of that, not even awareness of that, very simple understanding of the meaning of the word. That's why Tyagaraja said, Telisi Ramachiltana to namamu తెలిసి రామ తెలిసి రామచింతనతో నామము సేయవే మనసా. Know what you are doing, at least try to get some closeness of Upanishad, Upasana, Upanayana. Then, when you are chanting that shlokam, your mind will not even get distracted into anything else. You will be chanting Narayani Stuti with complete presence. Lakshmi, Lajje, Mahavidye, Shraddhe, Pushte, Swadhe, Dhruve, Maharatri, Mahavidye, Narayani Namostute. Maharatri, Ratri, Maharatri, Kalaratri, Moharatrischa Daruna. What is Ratri? Ratri we are describing as night. What is then? Night is something inauspicious, darkness. But night, it is this word Ratri, Atiratra, Shivaratri, Maharatri, Kalaratri, Moharatri. Ratri is a supreme blessing when all the senses are completely withdrawn and only the subtleness of the thought remains, and there is no movement of the subtleness impelled by the senses. That is Ratri, not night time. Ratri is not night time. You can be completely in a day, but you can be in Shivaratri. When all your senses are withdrawn and there is only hairline presence of the thought, hairline presence of the thought, and that time is Maha Shivaratri. This is Maharatri. In that Maharatri, there is total presence, Mahavidya. The Mahavidya used in the previous line and the Mahavidya used in this line, they're not the same meaning, different meaning. That Mahavidya is about action. This Mahavidya is about thought. Sairam. So, Lakshmi, Lajje, Mahavidye, Sraddhe, Pushti, Svadhe, Dhruve, Maharatri, Mahavidye, Narayani Namostute. Now, this, uh, see how Bhagavan's times, the presence of this study, even associated with the external relative time we are experiencing. This incredible Narayani Stuti happens on Sri Panchami time frame. Huh? How is that? Has Branimir planned this to happen on a Sri Panchami time? Or Buddupalli planned it? No, Sairam. This is how you know that the presence of Bhagavan is absolutely 100% in these satsangs. But for that, everything cannot be perfectly planned. Cannot be perfectly planned. It's only the divine that plans. Now, the next one, Medhe Saraswati Vare Bhuti Bibhravi Bhuti Babhravi Tamasi Niyate Tvam Prasideshe Narayani Namostute Medha Devi Jushamanana Aga Advishwachi Bhadra Sumanasyamana. Now, I hope most of you chanted the Medha Suktam yesterday on this Mahasaraswati's presence on a Vasanta Panchami. Medhe Saraswati Vare Bhuti Babhravi Tamasi Niyate Tvam Prasideshe Narayani Namostute. What is Medha? Medha is not intellect. Buddhi is intellect. Sarvasya Buddhi Rupena. Here Medhe Saraswati Vare. Medha is even closer to the Supreme Consciousness than even Buddhi. Saraswati. What is Saraswati? Don't say goddess of knowledge. That's like saying A for apple. A is not simply apple. Hello. A for apple. That's all. Whenever you say Saraswati, don't say this lady holding, wearing very white clothes and wearing some veena, and then she's beautifully playing the veena. All this iconic representation is simply A for apple. Saraswati is I am consciousness. Vajebhir Vajinivati. The I am presence is Medha, which is even closer to the supreme consciousness than the intellect, which is the Buddhi. Bhuti Babhravitamasi. Now you see there, consort of Vishnu, dark one, nature and be propitious. What is consort of Vishnu? How does that come into picture? I have no idea. This I am consciousness, niyate tvam prasidese. That I am consciousness defines every moment within us, every movement within us. And that I am consciousness is the one that is so close that if you get to that I am consciousness and you tasted that, you will never ever refrain from the presence of the Brahman. Bhuti Babhravitamasi Niyate Tvam Prasidese Narayani Namostute. And this next beautiful one. And before we, before brother will complete all the three, Sarvaswarupe, Sarveshe, Sarvashakti, Samanvite, Bhayebhyaha, Trahino, Devi, Durge, Devi, Namostute. This is another beautiful shloka in the Sapta Shloki. Jnaninam Apichetamsi is number 1, Durge Smurta is number 2, Sarva Mangala Mangalya is number 4, Sharanagata Dinartha is number 4, right? So, which is Jnaninam Apichetamsi, Durge Smurta, Sarva Mangala Mangalya, Sharanagata Dinartha. This fifth one is Sarva Swarupe, Sarveshe, Sarva Swarupe, entire forms associated with Sarvaswarupe, of in all the forms and the names that are identified with Sarveshe, the one which is present in all those, with entire power, empowering each of those names and forms in the world, Sarva Shakti Samanvite. Now, that which is, once you get to this consciousness that the name and form are simply temporary manifestations of that supreme power and consciousness, and therefore you connect to that supreme power and consciousness that is present in each of these names and forms, and connect to the oneness associated with it, you shall not be touched by any fear. Bhayebhyaha, all kinds of fears will disappear, because this Durga Devi, one which is the fort around this awareness that is present within us. Why fear when I am here? Why fear when I am here? If you want to translate it into two letters in Hindi, it's called Durga. अध्यवोचदधिवक्ता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक् अहीगिश्च सर्वान् जम्भयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः. That is Durga. That is Shiva. सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्ति समन्विते भयेभ्यः त्राहिनो देवी. Bhayebhyaha, all kinds of fears. Oh, all kinds of fears, and the root origin of all kinds of fears is false identification with the name and form of the world without connecting to the substratum of the supreme consciousness. When you connect to that Sarvaswarupe, all names and forms, Sarveshe, that is inherent in all names and forms, Sarvashakti Samanvite, empowering all these names and forms, you connect to that. Bhayebhyaha trahi. No means all of us. Naha means all of us. Protect all of us from that endless fears that are constantly inflicting us, because we are associating with the name and the form, and what is behind that, which is you. When I connect to that, I shall be unshaken and no fear will enter. And when no fear enters, like a fort, no fear enters into that fort. That fort into which no fear enters is called Durga. Yes, brother, three shlokas.
Yeah. I just have a question. Save us from error, it says here. So this is not correct, I presume.
Bhaya means fear. That is translated as Bhaya is always fear. And
Mhm.
where is the fear coming from? The fear is coming from error. What is the error? The error is name and form. That is what's called avidya.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, and here you said that, just let me find it, the first Mahavidya is related to action and the second to thought, right?
Hmm.
So is this, I mean, you said that, each words, so Lakshmi Lajje Mahavidya Shrathe Pushti Svathe Dhruve falls nicely one after another. And so this is like the state, desirable state on Maharatri, this Mahavidya. So this is like the ultimate state of just, how do you put it?
Yes, where all the senses are refrained.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no movement of the thought
Yeah.
associated with the sense. That state is called Ratri.
Okay.
Ratri is not night time.
Yeah.
But m- but in the night time when you are asleep is when the senses are not moving, isn't it? Yes. So
Mhm.
the most relaxing time that you have is the sleep time because the senses are not moving. So when the senses are not moving, you are the most relaxed.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I can chant now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, Martine. Om Lakshmi Lajje Mahavitye Shrathe Pushti Svadhe Dhruve
लक्ष्मीलज्जे महाविद्ये श्रद्धे पुष्टिस्वधे ध्रुवे लक्ष्मीलज्जे महाविद्ये श्रद्धे पुष्टिस्वधे ध्रुवे
Maharatri Mahavitye Narayani Namostute
महारात्रिमहाविद्ये नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते महारात्रिमहाविद्ये नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
Lakshmi Lajje Mahavitye Shrathe Pushti Svadhe Dhruve Maharatri Mahavitye Narayani Namostute
लक्ष्मीलज्जे महाविद्ये श्रद्धे पुष्टिस्वधे ध्रुवे महारात्रिमहाविद्ये नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते लक्ष्मीलज्जे महाविद्ये श्रद्धे पुष्टिस्वधे ध्रुवे महारात्रिमहाविद्ये नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
Medhe Saraswati Vare Medhe Saraswati Vare Bhuti Bhabravitamasi
मेधे सरस्वति वरे भूतिभाभ्रवितामसि मेधे सरस्वति वरे भूतिभाभ्रवितामसि
Niyate Tvam Prasideshe Narayani Namostute
नियते त्वं प्रसीदेशे नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते नियते त्वं प्रसीदेशे नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
Medhe Saraswati Vare Bhuti Bhabravitamasi Niyate Tvam Prasideshe Narayani Namostute
मेधे सरस्वति वरे भूतिभाभ्रवितामसि नियते त्वं प्रसीदेशे नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते मेधे सरस्वति वरे भूतिभाभ्रवितामसि नियते त्वं प्रसीदेशे नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिः समन्विते
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवि दुर्गे देवि नमोऽस्तु ते
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवि दुर्गे देवि नमोऽस्तु ते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवि दुर्गे देवि नमोऽस्तु ते
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवि दुर्गे देवि नमोऽस्तु ते
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवि दुर्गे देवि नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवि दुर्गे देवि नमोऽस्तु ते
In this Medhe Saraswati Devi, now I connected to what they're calling as consort of Vishnu, is there are the three mothers are described in that Medhe Saraswati, Vare, Bhuti, Babhravi, Tamasi, all is describing different mothers as in Saraswati, as Lakshmi, as Tamasi, Mahakali. So Tamasi is Mahakali, the Tamoguna. So the Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, all the three are described, and that is what is invoked in this 23 slokam. Okay, and then the 24 slokam is now no association with any of these forms. Now, if you can go do the exercise, please do the exercise. How many Shaktis are invoked other than the Saptamatrikas? And you can do that math, and then you will come up with the answers to some of the questions. Now, the um, I think we will pause here, and then today at 2 o'clock California time, 5 o'clock Eastern, we'll have the practice the session as usual. Now this beautiful Narayani Namostate ended at number 23. 24 is about Durga Devi, then there is a Katyayani, then there is Bhadrakali. The Namostate will continue for the next of the few slokas. Now, the there anything I missed? Yeah. So basically, let's we'll come back next week and we will do the next week. By the way, Saturday we will also have the Ekadasha Rudrabhishekam, and I'd request all the people that are coming as Ritviks, including Brother Martin and Branimir, if you can do a chanting of the round, that would be great. All right. With that, we'll close today's session and I'll stay back for answering a few questions that came through the chat. Sairam. Om यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते विसर्गबिन्दुमात्राणि पदपादाक्षराणि च न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि क्षमस्व साईश्वर अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हर्निशं मय दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व साईश्वर अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष साईश्वर हरिः ओम् तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु स्वस्तिः प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेण मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Sairam. So we were continuing. Sister Anuradha is online as well now. So there is some questions that came through yesterday, and brother and I were discussing those before the class, right, today. And so yesterday was very nice chanting. I just saw snippets of that, but I was also a little bit surprised that most of those that are attending the practices regularly did not raise their hands to chant. So what brother heard chanting were the regularly regular ones that were chanting. But the most of those that are chanting, very nice, good chanting. Thank you for doing that. And brother, beautiful session yesterday where he was explaining even more the intricacies associated with samyuktaksharas having ka in them and all of that. So very nice session. Thank you, Branimir. So the shloka and the swara, that is there is all the anushtup chandas is perfectly in swara. When we use the word swara in the Veda chanting, basically associated with three notes, basically the sa, the shadjam, the base scale in which you chant is basically is called the udatta, and the anudatta is the two notes below that, which is the ni, and then the swarita is actually the re, the immediate note associated with the shadjam, which is the re. That is usually the three swaras that are used in most of this, right? I don't have my keyboard or my harmonium with me, otherwise I would have demonstrated. But basically, it's one mostly associated with one raga called Revati, or in Hindustan it's called Bairagi Bhairav. This, so I'm playing that, right? You can hear this. Can you hear this, brother?
Yes,
Yes,
and now we can hear it.
very loud, actually.
So, sa ni sa re sa ni sa ni sa re sa re sa. That re is actually swaritam. Sa, that is udattam. Anudattam is ni, ni, sa, re, sa. Okay. Everything that we are chanting, Vishwam Vishnurva Shatkaro, all of that is perfectly. Anushtup Chandas fits perfectly. But when we are chanting Vasanta Tilakam or Upajati Chandas or the Dhyana Slokams, Kshirodanva Pradeshe Suchimani Vilasat Saikate Mauktikanam, like what we are chanting, Ghanta Shula Khalani Shankha Musale Chakrandhanussajakam Hastabjair Dhananta Vilasat Prabham. So when we are chanting like that, we are actually not chanting the Udattas. Most of them are Swaritas. Shiro, Ni, right? Dhanva Pradeshe, Sari, Ri. So you have to put the vertical line on every one of them. Ghanta, Shula, Shu is Udatta, La is Ri, Halani, Ri, Shankhamusale, Ri. Everything is Ri. So you have to put vertical line on every. If you are actually calling as the swaras of the Vedas. But the intent, what we are doing here, to be very clear, is to have everybody chant a particular pattern. As long as you are listening to the recordings and following that pattern, we are good, and that would help us all to be on the same page. Okay, that is, everybody is clear. Any questions? I'll stop my Shruti here. Anuradha, you want to add anything, ma? She is the actual musician. I am just a fake one.
I just agree with what you're saying. If there is consistency in the notation, and then we can all recite the same way. There is also one other note like Sa Ishwaraya Namaha. That na comes even below
Yeah.
the knee. So there's
Yes,
one more
that is
note I just wanted to point out.
the pa. There is a pa,
The
right?
pa,
And
yeah, yes.
what is that? So very rarely we chant that in these shlokas. The Durga Saptashati we are not chanting. Like for example, Ganana, where is okay, Jeshtarajam, the J, that is, now we are going one note below this pa we are going. So what is that called? I'm trying to remember. What is that one note?
Panchamam.
No.
Panchamam.
Not musically, but in Veda
Ah,
parlance. When the Veda parlance, it is a specific. What is that? Branimir will know.
For example, kalpataga. So
Yes.
this
Yeah.
is this for in Rudram. Yeah.
Yes.
So when we said Vyano yajnena kalpatam chakshur yajnena kalpatag. So this
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is there is a name for it. There is a technical name for it in Veda Swara. I'm just
Yes.
like Dirgha Swaritam, which is slightly higher than the Swaritam, and it is a double
Yeah.
line that we put. Ganana Antva. There it is. Ganana Antva. The Dirgha Swaritam is not coming in any of the Devi Matyam chanting. Okay, nor is that Panchamam is coming in any of the Shloka chanting. Most of it is Ni Sa Ri only. And that is what we are using. So, and the Vasanta Telakam chandas that we are chanting, right? Most of them, Durge Smruta Harasi Bhiti Masesha Janto. There also we are saying, Durge Smruta Ni Sa Ri 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 Ri
Durge,
Ri.
Durge,
That's what we
Dur,
are
Dur.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So pa sa ri ri pa. Then we start sorry ni sa ri 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 ri. So is what we are chanting. So what is the tune associated with that? Most of you are familiar with Vishnu Sahasranamam, where we say Namostvanantaya Sahasramurtaye Sahasrapadakshi Sirorubhakave Sahasranamne Purushaya Shashvate Sahasrakoti Yugadharine Namaka. That is exactly the tune we are chanting for those Durga Smrta Harasibhiti, most of the fourth chapter chandas and other than anushtup chandas. That's what we are chanting. So just keep that in mind, then we are in good chant. So some people are saying Durge Smrta Harasi Bhiti Masesha Janto Swasthai Smrta. There is no additional emphasis on the second letter. Swasthai Smrta Mati Mativa Namostvanantaya Sahasramurtaye Sahasrapadakshi. We don't say Sahasrapadakshi, you don't chant Sahasrapadakshi Sirorubhagave like that, right? Everybody clear, Sairam? Especially the people that are helping others.
Yes.
Chandrasekhar, Gauri, is Gauri
Yes.
online?
Yes, uncle.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes.
uncle.
yeah. So it is not. That's why when people are asking what is this swara for that, what is it? Don't worry about the swara for the shlokas. Most of the time these are pointers just for you to get associated with anushtup chandas. All the swaras are perfect because it's all going, most of the shlokas are in anushtup chandas, so that is no. And then somebody asked a question, what is the significance of the sudden change in the pattern of the shlokas? Yeah, the sudden change in the pattern of the shlokas, there is no spiritual significance to my knowledge, but there is a yogic and there is a tantric significance where certain aksharas have to come in certain matras. So, and that is not a topic for general consideration. I will refrain from speaking more than that. Just follow the patterns, we are good. Okay. Any, we already discussed the M with the dot on it before. What other questions did I miss, brother, from yesterday?
The ending Siren, the
Ah,
should we need
oh
to
yeah, yeah,
stretch?
yeah. Okay, okay, yeah. So there was a question about us chant. The Hraswa chanting is something that came up with, right? Okay. The reason why I'm asking people to pay attention to that, and because most of the people are used to chanting in between the padas, they put the dirgha. Like for example, Lalita Sahasranama, right? Let's take a Srimad Maharagni. So when there is one single word that is associated with a particular padam, people put dirghams in between, which it makes it completely different meaning and incorrect. So Lalita Sahasranam, let me pull up Lalita Sahasranam, give an example of Lalita Sahasranam, which will resonate with people, or even Vishnu Sahasranam. Okay. Okay. Vadanasmara Gruhatorana Chillika. Completely wrong. Completely wrong. You can't split Mangalya. It is वदनस्मरमाङ्गल्यगृहतोरणचिल्लिका वक्त्रलक्ष्मी परिवाह चलन्मीनाभलोचना. Right? Now, there are places where the padam has a dirgham. Then it is okay to give a little more. For example,
Which
Om
loka? Which loka, Shekhar?
Sri Mata Sri Maharajni, there
Beginning, yeah.
Ragni, there is dirgham. So you can pause there. You can also give dirgham. Similarly, the next one, Vudyadbhanu Sahasrabha, that is dirgham is there. Now let's take where there is no dirgham and there is a split of the word. So what people do, for example, if you and I will give example within the Demahatyam also. Okay. Sadhya. Most of the time when the padas are split, there is a dirgham if you noticed it, right? Maharupa. Okay. Ma, okay. Let's go back to Devi Madhyam. Narayani Namostate itself we can take. Narayani Namostate, right? Sarvaswarupe Sarveshe Sarvashakti Samanvite, where the Sarveshe is a different word, it has a dirgham, so you say that. Now, let's take Medhe Saraswati Vare, also there is a dirgham. I'm looking for one. Okay. Sivaduti Swarupena Hata Daitya Mahabale. So, what people will do? Sivaduti Swarupena. That's incorrect. Swarupena Hatadai, because Swarupena, there is no dirgham there. Shivaduti Swarupena, Swarupena. Hraswam is this. Shivaduti Swarupena, Swarupena, Swarupena. Is that clear? That's a very good example. Thank you for pulling up that, brother. Yes? Don't chant Shivaduti Swarupena Hata Mahabale. There is no Swarupena. Dirgham is not there. So when there is no Dirgham, we put not we should not put Dirgham, because in Sanskritam, especially in Vedic chanting, the bala the thing that you give, the Dirgham that you give, ma is a different meaning than ma. So na is a different meaning than na. Na is a hrasvam. Hrasvam is that timing. So medhe saraswati vare, there is a dirgham there. Now, yes, go ahead, brother. Yes.
Yeah, so brother Chandrasekhar asked about the ending. So this one, so when we finish here with Hrasvam,
Ah,
so what we learned, okay, but this is also, we can see Chalakiri brothers actually, they chant Tamasi. I think that they are stopping here, but we,
yes.
we don't make any difference here. So we chant Medhe Saraswati Vare Bhuti Bhavitamasi. You see, we don't we elongate it a bit more. It's not like the classical dirgham ending,
Yeah.
but we elongate it a bit. So we do not chant Tamasi. So
So listen. So I'm glad you brought up Chalakeri brothers. To my in current context, the absolutely perfect chanters of Veda mantras or any stotras are Challakeri brothers.
I
Com-
agree.
Completely flawless. So when you are in doubt, even with Lalita Sahasranamam, Vishnu Sahasranam or Veda mantras, when I am in doubt, I go listen to them
Yeah.
15 times how they chant, right?
Hmm.
So most of the time, Medhe Saraswati Vare Bhuti Babhravitamasi, that is that timing. Tamasi. If you say Medhe Saraswati Vare Bhuti Bhavravitamasi, Tamasi. If you went a little longer than Tamasi, then you are making it a Dirgham. Tamasi is a
Yeah, yeah.
is a different. Well, again, one thing I will tell you is for shlokas, there is forgiveness of swaras and a little bit of chanting because these are shlokas. But for mantras, there is no forgiveness on chanting. So, forgiveness meaning there is no wiggle room. Forgiveness means don't take it as somebody punishing you or anything like that. Like that. I'm not talking about tamasic bhakti here. The context of wiggle room, as they say. The wiggle room for mantras is very restricted because the mantras are associated primarily Shabda Brahman. So the Shabda Brahman aspect of it has to be really very strictly followed. And if you make dirghams or swams incorrect, then the meaning of the Veda mantra will be different. In fact, the reason why people even refrain from explaining the meaning of the Veda mantras to the extent possible is because if you use the word ma as anudattam and ma as udattam, the meaning changes.
Yeah.
The meaning changes based on the swara pattern, not even about dirgham rasvam. So anyway, the point is not to intimidate anyone or to point is not to, we're all in the learning process. This is a continuous learning process. I'm glad people are paying now attention to that. That's the most beautiful thing that is happening. And I see that a lot of people are now picking on the nuances of the holdings and the dirghams and hraswams. One thing please pay attention to, dirghams in the middle of the padams, very sure. You can't you can sarvas bhayebhyastrahino devi. That's it. Not bhayebhyastrahino devi. There is no dirgham there, no. Oh, devi is there? No, there is no dirgham. Yeah. So bhayebhyastrahino devi durge devi namostute. Instead, what, that is the reason why I was correcting people on the extending of the hraswams. Bhayebhyastrahino devi durge, then the matras are gone. So as brother Branimir is saying, at the end of the slokam, if you are giving a little more extension, then the matras are not affected. But if you are making dirghams or the hraswams in the middle of the padam, then the matras, the timing, visarga bindu matra, the matras will be affected. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Please ask a question if there is any question. Are we aligned, brother Branimir, mostly? You are the boss. Tell me. Huh?
Very clear, very clear. Yeah. So actually it was Prakash Kaushik. I listened Prakash Kaushik Devi Mahatmyam, but for Lalita Sahasranamam, I take Chalakiri brothers
Yes.
as the
Yes.
Yeah.
And please, practicing Lalita, even more perfect for understanding the rules of chanting shlokas is Vishnu Sahasranamam, because there are so many beautiful places where you have to pay attention to the holdings, the samyuktaksharas and the visargas and the bindus. So the bindu, where we are chanting Vishnu Sahasranamam, the bindus, it's absolutely phenomenal. Just practice those, and you will.
Yeah.
And then listen to Challakeri brothers. If you are not sure what you are chanting, they are absolutely. For example, Putatma Paramatma Cha Muktanam Paramagatihi. So when you say Muktanam, Putatma Paramatma Cha Muktanam Parama, then the matras are gone. Putatma Paramatma Cha Muktanam Paramagatihi Avyayah Purusas Sakshi Kshetrajnokshara Vacha Kshara Evacha, like that. Thank you. Yes. Who is Rudram? What is the question? Is Rudram text available with? Yes, the Rudram text is available with holdings and chanting, brother.
Yeah, I send it to the leaders. So please, you
Yeah.
can share it. You can share it with your team members. Yeah, with your groups.
Can I ask you for a favor? Can you send me the word versions of
Yes,
those, and then I will convert them
yes.
to
Yes,
Devanagari because not all people are comfortable chanting from English
sure, yes.
yet. And amazing, I tell you, more than Branimir, but Davor is such an incredible servant in this mission of God, uh, and how much effort he has put in getting this holding. I constantly
Yes.
exchange emails with him, and how much he teaches me on. His technical skills are par excellence, and
Mm.
I can't keep up with. Like it's like sometimes sounds gibberish to me. I have to read his email 15 times before I understand.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
I learned a lot through Davor's. He's, I mean, amazing. I mean, how much he knows about the grammar and the mails we exchanged about. It's like, for example, that Shuro Hasti Sadamadaka,
Yeah.
where and yeah, the other thing I want to say is last no one of the practice sessions, that Tena Tacha Tatha, that shlokam is there in third chapter. So it is tacha tatha. It is not tacha, because tat shatatha becomes tat chatadha. No, so if there is a mistake in anywhere else, please correct that. It is 100% accurate. I have had exchanges with Shanmukha Sharma Garu also. He confirmed that it is Tena Tat Shatatha. I'll tell you the shlokam number is what? Pavan, if you are online, you are the one that asked it. Okay, Pavan is not online. Uma
10,
auntie,
Anna.
yes.
Lokam 10.
Shlokam 10 in third chapter, that Tena Tachatatha. Tachatatha. Not Tena Tacha. It is not, there has to be Mahaprana on the Cha. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Ma. The daily prayers thing, my apologies. I will try to correct all of those now. That's brother, now that he made the thing with the holdings and everything, we will substitute that for the daily prayers into one single PDF. It came from different versions and the fonts are messed up and all problems. So we'll, instead of correcting each line, we'll just correct the entire daily PDF now that brother has put the Rudram also in holdings and everything. Okay. Yes. One of these days we have to do Rudram audition for all the Ritviks. God knows how they are chanting Rudram. So, okay. Any other questions?
So even the rule applies for Rudram, right? For the holdings, if there is a vowel.
Oh,
Especially for
yeah,
especially for
special Veda mantras, especially Veda mantras, the holdings are very, very
Because we are,
important.
yeah, we
Yeah.
are so used to chanting in one go everything, you know.
No, no, here is the thing, right? The reason why people think that if they chant fast, they're experts. But honestly speaking, those that are chanting very fast are the ones that are hiding behind their mistakes. I'm honestly speaking. I mean, when you listen people chanting fast, of course you have to, there is a timing aspect. We can't be chanting at such a slow speed that each anuvakam will take 25 minutes. But the general rule of thumb for a good speed of chanting each Anuvakam during Ekadasham is 12 to 13 minutes. You can actually accomplish 12 to 13 minutes, very good quality chanting. Like Mahadbhyaha Kshullake Bhyaschavo. So those Samyukta have to be held. Bhyaschavo Namo Namo. That Bhyascha, that cha has to be, then people are not distinguishing between cha and cha. एका च मे तिस्रश्च मे पञ्च च मे सप्त च मे नव च म एकादश च मे त्रयो. There, there is cha and there is cha, and if you don't know where you are saying cha and where you are saying cha, okay, that is a different topic. Rudram, we will get into that separately. Yes. Any other questions? Yes. Hopefully somebody will re-listen to this recording. We will ask them to re-listen to this recording so that, oh, the one more thing is, I am hearing some people chant Kshama Prarthana, Mahim, Mahisham. Instead, they're saying Swastif Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishah. It is Mahim Mahishah, not Mahi Mahishah. Huh? So please pay attention to that. And that shlokam, to the extent of my knowledge, it is not a Veda. It's not a Vedic chant. It is some shlokam, the source of which is completely unknown. So, and there is forgiveness again in the swara pattern of it, but the meaning is different if you say Mahi versus Mahim. Mahim means the um, entire universe. Mahim, Mahishah means the one who is ruling the whole universe. Mahi means just the earth. Mahim means the entire universe. Yes, clear? Yes. Like Ahi, Mahi. You know what is Ahi?
Serpent.
Snake. Mahi is earth. So if you if you move the M to the other one, swastip nyayena margena, nayena margenam ahim ahisha, then then we are all worshipping snake charmers. Okay, Sai Ram, thank you. Okay, good. Very good session, brother. Thank you so much yesterday for excellent session. I went back and this is the second class I missed. I missed the first class when I was in Chidambaram, and this is the second class I missed. So apologies for that. I couldn't. I have no choice. If I had a choice, I would have joined. But thank you very much. Jai Sai Ram. God bless all. Talk to you in the evening.
Sai Ram. Bye bye.
Sai Ram.
Thank you.